You're now listening to Chaos Culture Radio. I'll be your host, Hakeem Bello. You can catch us on themediabums.com. For you fools who don't listen, THEMEDIABUMS.com. I came to give you life, culture, and tell you how to grow your money tree. And everything else. Holla at me.
What's good, people? We back on it again.
Chaos.
Culture. Radio, you know who it is.
Back with that fifth one, that fever.
Oh, yeah.
That 5.
That's actually my number, but we're not going to even get into
that's my number too.
Numerology yet, you know what I'm saying? And
from the holy block that I come from.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what could you get? Can you tell people about the number 5 a little bit?
Man, the 5 is a symbolic number, just like 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If whoever believes in numerology, you know what I'm saying? My number is the number 3. You know what I mean? That's my numerology number. But I love 5 because I come from a street, Miracle on 35th Street. You know what I'm saying? Which made me and presented who I am today. But you know what I mean? Enough of that. We'll do that when we'll do an episode. Get to know your podcasters.
Yeah, we'll get a little bit deeper. But of course, you know, I'm your girl, Kareen CV.
And it's your boy, Hakeem Bello.
Yeah, we back at it.
With another episode.
Yeah, it feels good. You know, we took a little break, which y'all didn't notice.
No, you wouldn't have noticed.
But today's topic we're going to get into is there a standard of beauty? This is a question I wanted to ask, and I'm just going to throw it to you. Is there a standard of beauty?
I think there is a definite standard of beauty coming from a man perspective. I don't think it's more emphasized on men than it is on women. You know what I mean? I think that there's an ideology that men are taught at a young age to see the type of women we're supposed to be with. You know what I mean? Even to the point where, I ain't gonna even lie to you, for a lot of y'all people who don't know this, when I was young, I used to thought dating light-skinned women was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? With long hair, inches. If you had 36 inches or more, bundles, yeah. You know what I mean? I used to think that, but you know what I mean? It took me until I got older to know that was a different way of thinking.
Right.
But when you're a child, you don't know no better, and you're going to school, and people are telling you that lighter is better, skinnier is better, long hair is better. You know what I mean? Until you get knowledge of self, then you have to start to change the way. So I do think that America sets a standard of beauty that even the whole international world follows.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, to answer the question myself, I definitely have been affected by the quote-unquote American standard of beauty, just like most black women, black girls. You know, I think the biggest way I've been affected is just looking on, you know, I always go back to media, I go back to television, I go back to my favorite shows, but it's like, when you're watching TV, you know, as a young black girl, and, you know, most of the characters on TV don't look like me. So I'm like, okay, damn.
Facts.
I'm thinking like, Mom, I need to perm my hair. Or, you know, early on, my mom started perming my hair. So stuff like that was like, damn, okay, my natural hair already, I was being stripped from who I naturally was at a young age. So it starts with the hair. Then I remember being in like middle school and getting introduced to skin lightening creams. You know, I'm a dark skinned woman, you know what I'm saying? And I never had people say, oh, you're ugly for being dark skinned to my face. But it was a feeling that like, okay, you know, based on the attention you get from, you know, men or whoever, people or the cool girl in school, the cool guy in school, you notice they all look a similar way. There are just different things that play with my head to the point where it's like, yeah, I started like experimenting with skin lightening creams. You know what I'm saying? At one point, but I wasn't consistent with it. By the time I got to high school, I remember there was this girl who, she wasn't even as dark as me. She probably was like a caramel tone, but you could tell she was using skin lightening creams because her face was one shade and her body was another shade. And, you know, looking back then, I'm glad I got over that. I went past that phase, but it's like, now as an older woman, like not older because you know I'm still pretty young, you know what I'm saying, pretty young, pretty young and tempting, you know what I'm saying? Pretty young thing. I'm still out here in these streets. But I'm just saying, now that I'm a little bit more mature in my thinking, you know, and I've been through some things, I realize, man, like, there's so many people who've been influenced by this so-called, you know, fake standard of beauty. Now, mind you, for white people, they have their standard, you know what I'm saying? But we have to know, as black people, we have our own standard. And
facts.
They honestly don't always align.
And I think that's a big issue, too. And, you know what I mean, not to base this, but, you know what I mean, when somebody sets the playing field, everybody follows it. And you know what I mean, as a man, be able to come to knowledge of self, I learned to support my women as far as just and this is for a lot of you brothers out there, and I'm gonna just give you a thing. If your girl wants to wear her natural hair, support her. If you know what I mean, if she getting a little bit of weight and pound, unless if it's affecting her, don't fat shame, you know what I mean, and don't make it seem like, or don't even propose any other type of beauty to them. You know what I'm saying? But that takes growth. And that takes turning on the television, stop reading the magazines, and start focusing on what you see as beauty. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Right.
And then it goes back to getting to know yourself. But a lot of it is deeply rooted, unfortunately, I don't want to say it, but self-hatred. And it's a lot of it kind of starts from slavery days, where they said like the slave master would separate the slaves, or sometimes a slave master might be, you know, raping a slave. A slave, she gets impregnated, and now she has a light-skinned kid, and that slave master, now she's separate from her slave family, and she probably might be brought into the house, or even given education and treated a certain way, and next you know, it's like, okay, the lighter is better, and the darker is still out in the field. You know what I'm saying? So you have the house nigga and the field nigga, you know, and with that, it's like, it's that mentality has brought so much friction amongst us, because, you know, to this day we still kind of think like that. Like, oh, the more European somebody looks, or the lighter somebody looks, or the straighter somebody's hair looks, they're more attractive. The darker somebody is, the kinkier their hair is, they're less attractive. And obviously that's not true. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, we've been whitewashed, and our mind has been, we have to unlearn these like negative stereotypes.
No, 100%. I think the situation is not as big as it is in the Caribbean. Don't get me wrong, we do have a big issue here with standard of beauty here, but the Caribbean take it to a whole nother level, where, especially in Jamaica, skin lightening is like the standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even in my mother's hometown country, in Haiti, they use skin lightening cream too. I've even seen my mother use skin lightening cream before and didn't thought nothing of it. Like, oh, this is just nothing. This is just soap. You feel me trying to say? But not knowing that a lot of people don't understand the chemicals and the damaging effect it can do to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Removing melanin out your skin.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can make yourself vulnerable for cancers.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And mind you, I'm going to give a disclaimer. I ain't no doctor.
Right.
I'm no doctor. I got no statistic proof. I'm just only going by what I see and what I've experienced. Just to give, for all you naysayers who want statistical proof. Hint, hint. So,
they want us to check our facts, but
yeah,
it's like
basically,
we live through this. And like, to add to what you're saying, I actually came across a clip on YouTube where this woman was doing a documentary on skin lightening in Jamaica, and they were going around talking to different Jamaicans, and they were saying how Vybz Kartel, I believe it's Vybz Kartel, was an artist who publicly talked about using skin lightening.
Oh my God!
You look at the pictures, you can see clearly he was a brown man, and he's lighting
almost
himself
dark,
to a certain color, and that influenced a lot of people in Jamaica to do the bleaching and blah blah blah. But the downsides too, like you're saying, I'm not a doctor either, but from what I've heard from people's stories, is like that bleaching eventually thins your skin out to where people can you can see through your skin. You know what I mean? And then the question is, why are you lightening your skin? Is it that you don't like what you see in Are you know what I mean? It goes back to that falling for the standard of somebody's idea of beauty. You know what I'm saying? If it's a choice, even with Michael Jackson, for example, he had vitiligo. People think like, he just turned himself that color because he wanted to be white. No, when you really get into Michael Jackson's story, he loved being black. He loved his African culture.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
If you listen to his music, he always would try to put that in there. He represented for us. But because he had vitiligo, a lot of times with the vitiligo syndrome, people's color change so quickly and drastically that literally your face can be one way and then next day you just have a big blotch of white skin on your face.
I've known people who had that too. I've definitely known people who had that too. But I also want to piggyback on the whole Jamaica thing, which I've seen a video clip on how one Jamaican man said from an economical perspective in Jamaica, and not only in Jamaica, this can also be applicable in other different places where the lighter skin of the group of people tend to get the better jobs in these third world countries. You know what I mean? And this is why people might lighten their skin, because after they exhausted all measures to try to move up in a society, they have not yet moved not one iota. There's even examples in Brazil. The lady who was the number one dancer in Brazil, I think for their little carnival, she was dark skinned. They swapped her out for a brown-skinned woman. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's crazy. And this is the society that we live in, and I think it still plagues us. Amala Negra talked about it. Estelle talked about it. And we don't hear about Estelle no more, and she sings better than half these women out here.
Yeah. Estelle's very talented.
But she's publicly went out and said that due to her darker skin complexion and the way she looks, her big teeth, her nose, she's also which hinder her from reaching certain places.
Right.
Compared to places that Beyonce might reach.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was a point that Amada made in her interview, where she was saying, because Amada La Negra, I'm sure you guys heard of her. She's from Love and Hip Hop Miami. She is a Afro-Latina. She calls herself Afro-Latina. She's Dominican. Okay?
Yep, she's Dominican.
She, she has her mom is a black woman, a brown woman who speaks Spanish. That's her background. Coming from Miami, we was always exposed to people of different shades, especially here in Miami. You never know where somebody's from. You might look at somebody and say, "Oh, they're white," and they might be Cuban, or you might look at somebody and say, "Oh, damn, that person's black," and they might be Portuguese or Brazilian or
colonialism.
You know what I mean? So. The point is just like, going back to with her, is that she was just explaining, like, because of her skin tone and stuff like that, like, she was an actress and she did music her whole life, and like, there was certain opportunities that she didn't get. She said she feels like even on television, when she looked in certain magazines or she would try to act in certain roles, they always pigeonhole her and they say, "Oh, you could play a slave, you can play this, you can play that,
or the maid.
You can't play the main woman because of your skin tone or your appearance." So today she's taking all that negativity and she said, "You know what, I'm gonna rock my afro. I want to go out here and empower young girls. I want to go out here and empower dark-skinned women and show them like, yo, you can be you. You're beautiful as you are." Nobody's saying you shouldn't enhance yourself or change yourself, but it has to start with, do you already love yourself from the beginning? If you're changing yourself to get other people's approval, I'm sorry, that's going to lead you to a road of nothingness. You know what I'm saying? It's going to lead you down to your demise. But if you're making a change because, hey, you're doing it for yourself, you want to look better, you want to feel better, there's nothing wrong with that. But it starts with loving yourself. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree with you 100%. And this is just to ladies and to brothers, too. You know what I mean? Because I know you might think this, you know what I mean? Do not do anything to please the masses. If it doesn't please yourself, then you're heading in the wrong direction. If your head nappy, be happy it's nappy. Your dreads is long down to the... And mind you, I love dreadlocks. Because most of the ladies in my family wear dreadlocks. And hint, hint. You know what I mean? So just, I think first, people, just love yourself first. That's all I can tell you. Love yourself first. And you'll be all right. that can be the catalyst to take you somewhere else. If you can't love yourself, you will never be who you're going to be.
Right. No, I totally agree. I just think, too, it's just like, in order to unchain ourselves from these ideals that have been placed upon ourselves, we do have to sit there and question and say, damn, why don't I like my hair the way it is? Why don't I like my skin tone the way it is naturally? Why don't I like whatever my size naturally? Why don't I like these things, my eye color naturally? You know, there was this quote from Malcolm X, where he was like, who told you to hate your nose? Who told you to hate your mouth? Who told you to hate your skin color? Who taught you that? Where did that come from?
Basically.
You know what I'm saying? And the moment we can start analyzing and realizing, like, yo, damn, this society kind of placed all these ideas on me, but at the end of the day, I'm gorgeous, my family's beautiful, I love black people, I love us, I love how we look. We influence a lot of culture. Here's the crazy thing about the standard of beauty. Our standard, or to you know, culturally, is, it's weird because we influence culture in a way, from music to style to slang to the hottest trends. But yeah, it's the idea that everybody wants to be black until it's time to really be black. You know, everybody wants to copy the blackness, but nobody actually wants to be a black person. You know what I mean? And it's like, we have to start celebrating ourselves. We have to start showing love to each other, being like, yo, if you see it, you know, you see another fellow sister say, I like your hair, she got a little natural hair. But of course, it starts with you. You have to find your love for self, so you can be able to seek that out for people, you know, give that to other people. It really starts with loving yourself. I know I keep saying that, but once you start loving yourself, then you're going to notice you like everything of who you are. Your color, your culture, the music, you can appreciate it. Because guess what? These other cultures appreciate it, and they take from it and appropriate from it all day.
They be flagging it like it ain't nothing. You see the Dominicans strut their stuff. Jewish represent their culture hard. Yeah. We need to represent our culture hard too. But this is my last point to this, and I don't know you can agree with me with this, Kareem. I think it's going to need to be a collective effort between black men and women coming together to smash all types of standards as far as beauty. Because I think a lot of driving force is America too, but it won't mean as much if men don't follow that trend as well. If men feel like, okay, I need to get somebody light-skinned with long hair, or somebody light-skinned with blonde hair. You can even see the changes in the videos nowadays. Before, in the 80s and 90s, we used to see a lot of dark-skinned women in the videos. Coming to the 2000s, they start to get lighter. Now, all you see is nothing but Hispanic women in videos. Right. And majority of them are Dominican, which I don't have an issue with, because, you know, Dominicans are our brothers and sisters. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? Sure. But I just say, as black men and women, if we can come together to help our sisters smash that standards of beauty, and you can love them for who they are. Yeah, I totally agree. To add to the final point, I think that all shades and colors are beautiful. You know, there's nothing wrong with lighter skin. There's nothing wrong with darker skin. They're all beautiful. You know what I mean? But it really starts with us loving ourselves and imparting that love. Once we get our stuff figured out in our head, then we can share that with somebody else and say, hey, you know what? I love you for who you are. You know why? Because I love myself for who I am. So that's all I got to say to y'all people. There's more I can say, but that's it. That's it. Hey, check this out. This is Chaos Culture Radio, and we love doing this. Do us a big favor. Support us. Hit us on the Patreon /The Media Bums. Or you can go to themediabums.com/Patreon. Or go head on to our merch section. It's the shop section on themediabums.com. Man, I just appreciate y'all just listening. Stay tuned for the next episode.